this is TampaTec, and learn something new from PC, TVs, and gaming too. Let's get it started. Hi, this is TampaTec. I'm going to show you how to uninstall a TV if you're moving. I'm not moving, so I'm going to show you the steps, what it takes. Okay? The first thing you want to do is unplug everything, the power, cords, coax cable, everything. So after you unplug everything from the back, and you can slightly lift up from the bottom of it, and you can give it, you'll give it just a little bit of space. Okay? Now, if it doesn't do that, if the bottom of it doesn't come out like this, that means there's locks. And there's a couple different locks that it may have. It might have a sliding bar, and you have to twist it and pull it out. And that's on the side of the mount. Or it might have screws biting into the bottom of the mount. Okay? So how the mount works, it hooks onto the top rail, and then there are screws that bite into the bottom rail on the mount, on the wall. That's the mount. I'm talking about the bracket on the wall. And so you need a long Phillips head screwdriver to take out those screws if it has that. There's many different kinds of mounts. I'm just telling different types. Another locking mechanism that some mounts have is the pull string. And you pull on the bottom of the two strings, one on the right and one on the left of the back of the TV, and it releases the spring. So when you let go of the string, it comes back up and bites into the bottom of the mount. So you can't do this. Alright? So those are the things you want to watch out for. So you really should have two people doing this. So we'll have one person pulling the string and then pulling this side, the other person pulling the string down underneath the mount and pulling out the bottom side. So when you take the TV off the wall, you pull the bottom out and lift it straight up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So remember, unplug everything, the coax cable, all the HDMI cables, the power cable. Alright, this one is a pull string. Alright, now here's the thing. It's a little bit tricky, so here's a couple of tricks you could do. If you're doing this by yourself, I got a couple of tricks that you could do to wedge something back there. Alright, so I'm going to use I'm going to use what I got. You can use anything, wedge back there. So I'm going to use this. So I'm going to pull down on the string right now, which is like right about the bottom right half right here, and pull the string down. And when you pull the string down, you pull the TV out. Okay? And then you wedge this on the bottom. And then it clips back on, of course. So let me try it again with this. There we go. Alright, pull that side out. And pull this. Okay, so I got this side off. Let's do it again with this. You can use anything to wedge back there on the bottom. You know what I mean? You could do it that way too. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you what I did. Alright, so that'll hold it there so these springs don't spring back in. And that's the pull string I'm talking about. See how it locks into place? But anyway, so make sure that's in there good. Alright, so now what you want to do is just lift it straight up from this point on. I hope this makes sense to you. Now, this pull string is one a little bit tricky. If you have just the screws, you just basically get a long screwdriver with a flashlight, and you unscrew it with a long screwdriver, Phillips head, and you unscrew the bottom of the mount. And once the screws fall out, then you can just do that. You don't really necessarily have to wedge anything under there. Alright, from this point on, you grab it by the middle. This is if it's under a 50-inch TV, LCD. Alright, so it's about 50, 60 pounds, this particular TV. So I grab it by right here in the center and right here on top. So I'm balanced. So every side, I don't have to worry. If I'm holding it by here, I'm trying to do it here, everything's going to fall that way, obviously. So you pull the bottom out first. When you pull the bottom out first, whatever you wedged in will fall. So realize that. Alright? And then what I would do is just lift straight up. Alright? and then you would just set it down. I would set it down like right here. Alright. So from now on, from this point on, you should really have two people. Again. Alright, so this one is in the stud. And if it's mounted in the stud, it holds 200, about like 200 pounds. And this TV is only 60 pounds. And from here, this point on, you just get a Phillips screwdriver and unscrew that. You know what I mean? And I use my handy dandy Makita. Okay. And you just take that off like so. Alright. And then the bottom one. But when you take out the bottom one, it's going to all swing down. Like that. Alright. I'm doing the camera work myself, so you got to bear with me. Alright, so I'm actually doing the whole install, and I have to reinstall it for you guys. But a lot of times installers use a 1/2-inch socket because that bolts in it. You can use that as well. And then if you have the wires in the wall, just go ahead and pull the wires off out of the wall. They should come straight out of the wall. But if you have something like that, you could just peel that slowly off the wall because it's just adhesive tape. And if it doesn't come off, just use a hot hair dryer and the adhesive will loosen because the heat loosens up the tape. So the paint doesn't come off the wall. You can just slowly peel it off. See, just like that. But of course, I highly recommend using a hot hair dryer to loosen up an adhesive on that. Alright, so now, remounting it. And to remount this, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm on a tripod, so you got to bear with me right here. Alright. And you would use basically a stud finder. Once you find the stud in the wall with the stud finder, and I have a video how to find a stud on my TampaTec channel. Alright, so once you find a stud using a magnetic stud finder or an electronic one, just go ahead and put it in like so. And you'll know if you found the stud because there's resistance when you screw in the screw. Make sure you put a level on, make sure it's leveled and the bubble's in the middle between the lines. You know. And then basically you just lift it back up. This is like that. And you lift it back up. Put the top hooks on first like this. And put the second one on. Like that. And then you're back on. You're back on the wall.